Hi guys. It is Friday, September 1st, 2023. It is Friday of Labor Day weekend here in the United States, and I'm here to do my August WIP update. Um, it is a holiday weekend here, and I had a plan to finish a project this weekend. And it was supposed to be 3 days, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Well, Saturday, tomorrow, is ended up being taken up by a funeral. One of my coworkers passed away earlier in August. And so I'm going to go to her funeral tomorrow. And then this past Tuesday was my mom's birthday. So my family and I are going out to dinner after the funeral to celebrate my mom's birthday. So tomorrow is going to be a no stitching day. So I decided to take today off and still have my 3 stitching days from the project I want to finish. So, uh, so here I am on Friday afternoon. It's about 12:30. Um, and doing my WIP update. So August August was a little bit of a rough month. There was a week in the middle of August, the second week of August, that I didn't stitch at all, and and I don't really know why. I might not have been feeling well a couple of those days. I don't know, but there was like a week where I lost my stitching bug and I just didn't stitch at all. And then I started stitching a little bit, and then there was another day or two that I didn't stitch. Um, so I ended up with about 3,700 stitches for the month, which isn't bad. It's not bad, but I've been trying to get to at least 4,000, and I didn't quite make it. Um, so August was, of course, arbitrary August. So I had my handy dandy little wheel that I spun all month, and that's the only thing. That's the only way I stitched all month was I spun the wheel and um, I stitched what was on the wheel. Uh, and I had 8 projects on the wheel. And I later took 2 of them off. I'm gonna show you the wheel. I later took 2 of them off, so now there's only 6. I'll show you the wheel. So here's my August wheel. And it has Retrievers, Linus the Trick and the Treat, Savannah, Poppy, Bells of Violet, and Chinchilla Sty on it. I took off my, and I took off Cabin Fever. I took off my because that's the one that I divided into 12. And I had done almost everything that I could do without getting into the September section. I didn't even have 100 stitches left that I could do without getting into a new section of a month that we weren't in yet. So I did what I could do, and then I stopped and I took it off the wheel because there wasn't really anything left to do on it. And then Cabin Fever is a project that I'm hoping to finish this weekend, so I took it off the wheel and decided to save it for this weekend. So let me show you what I stitched on. And since it's right here on top, I guess we'll start with Cabin Fever. But the rest of the month, I did. I spun the wheel, and I was working through Road Trip Leg 7, trying to finish up Leg 7. I'm still not quite done. I think I've still got about 1,000 stitches left. But so I would spin the wheel, and I would do whatever shop I was on. And then when I finished the shops, I would do. I've been doing about 400 shopping stitches, and then spinning again. Um, three. It would come out to 3 or 4 shopping items, and then I would spin again. So this is Cabin Fever by Mill Hill. And this is a project that I'm hoping to finish by Monday. I did. How many stitches did I do on this month? I got accused of cheating on the wheel. This was one of the first projects to come up. This was the first or second project to come up on the wheel, and I did my stitches and then I spun and it came up again and I spun again. I'm like, I'm not doing this twice in a row. But I did 600 stitches on this, and here's where it is. I finished. I spent like 100 and something stitches or 200 and something stitches just filling in random bits that were left. Um, like I filled in the stars here. I filled in some just random bits that were left. I did the fish. I did the fire. I still have to finish the smoke on the fire. That's the only process that's left, is doing the smoke around the fire. Um, and um, and then just the beading and the back stitch, is a little tiny bit of back stitch. And I'm hoping this will be a finish by Monday. Next up is Miss Mai. Isn't there a picture of her in here somewhere? Well, there was a picture of her in here. What happened to it? Apparently the picture didn't get put back in here. Anyway, there's enough of her done that you can see what she looks like. So, here's my... I only did 200 stitches on her. The August section was this bottom part of her kimono right here. All of this over here is September. September has a lot of stitches in it. So, and the only part that I have to do that wasn't either August or one of the months that's coming up is these flowers right here. Everything else was, is in an upcoming section. So I only did 200 stitches on her, and there wasn't a whole lot of place to go after that. So there she is. And I'll work on her again this month. We'll do the September section. This is not what I thought it is. This one has a picture. This next one is Savannah's Curtsy by Mirabilia. This one needs some good attention for the rest of the year. I did... My goal on this is 5,000 stitches for the year for WIPCO, or for WIPGO. And I'm at, not even at 2,000, I'm at like at 1,850. And I mathed it out, and I'm going to have to do like 800 stitches a month for the rest of the year to get to 5,000. So she needs some significant attention if I'm going to make my WIP go for her. But I did 500 stitches on her this month. And I don't know that you're going to be able to see this. But I filled in, there's a bunch of, can you see that? There's a bunch of white. I don't know how to make you see that. But there's a bunch of white right here. And then I fill in some of this shadow on her dress. There you go. Yeah, there's a bunch of white. And so I've been trying to make myself do some of the white every time I stitch, like do 100 stitches of white and then do 100 stitches of a color, because if I leave the white till the end, it's going to be a disaster. So I've been trying to chip away at the white. So there's Savannah. She's got a long way to go, and she needs a lot more stitches this year in order to meet my goal. So I'm going to have to hustle. Thankfully, she fits in the categories for September, so she's gonna come out for categories. This next one was one that I restarted earlier this year. I had started it. This was Vic's birthday stitch along in 2020, and I had started it for that, and then I decided that I didn't like the fabric, and I restarted it this year. This is Poppy by Nora Corbett. And I did Poppy. I did 325 stitches on her. Seems like it was more. I'm going to check my records. No, I should have done. I'm going to check my records because I thought I did more than 325. No, maybe I didn't. Maybe that was all I did. I thought all of these had gotten spun more than once, except for Tatilla's die, which never got spun. But apparently this one only got spun once. So there's Poppy, and I filled in some of her skirt over here and down here. I had to frog some, and then I filled it in. There's Poppy. This next one is one you see frequently on this channel. This one, I think I did 400 stitches. Yeah, I did 400 stitches, but that 400 stitches made a big difference because, um, so this is my dogs, this is the retrievers. And the 400 stitches that I did made a big difference because I filled in around his eyes, and and he's starting to look like a dog instead of just looking like a blob that blends into the fabric. He's starting to look like a dog, and that was exciting. So there's retrievers. My goal on this one is also 5,000. I'm at about 4,300, 4,400. So this one will make its goal without too much trouble. Savannah, I'm gonna have to work for that one though. She's got a long way to go. Is there a picture in here? This is my other Nora that I've been working on. This one, I started with Vic in February of this year. This is Bells of Ireland. I did 975 stitches on this month. I think this one was spun about 3 times. And I did 975 stitches. And when you last saw it, I had her chest here. I had her head and her, like, down to her chest here. And I did some of her arms. And everything you see in her dress, I did this month. Um, so I did a lot of work on her this month. And she's starting to come together. The fabric is Easter Parade by Mystic Fabric, I think. I always get confused which ones are for Mystic and which ones are for the Vendile. But so there's Bells of Ireland. And the last thing that I worked on, because there were 8 projects in my wheel and I have 8 projects. This one got called twice, and I did 700 stitches on it. This is Linus the Trick and the Treat by Prairie Moon. And I had, when I started, I had the outside border here and most of this inside border. I finished the inside border. I did this, and I did this. So there's still a little more of this motif here that goes into the next page. But I finished my stitches that I needed, so I stopped. But next time I pull it out, I'm going to finish this motif, and we're going to do this part up here. We'll do this motif up here. Which I think these are bats. So, this fabric is Flapper by Pictures Plus. So there's Linus the Trick and the Treat. And that's what I worked on this month. That was Arbitrary August. It was really a lot of fun. I think all of us enjoyed spinning the wheel. It was really a lot of fun. I know some people are going to continue the wheel spinning for different things in September. But we had a good time with it. Some of my friends and I had a thread where we were sharing our wheel spins. Every time we spun, we would share what we spun. So it was a lot of fun. Plans. September plans. My first plan for September is to finish Cabin Fever. And thankfully it fits in the categories. My goal for August categories, Arbitrary August, was 3,500. And because I didn't stitch for a week, I was kind of, I was having to kind of hustle to make that goal. And I ended up at 37. I did the last of my stitches last night, and I ended up at 37. So I squeaked in, but on the last day, but I got my stitches done. So my first goal for September is to finish Cabin Fever. I'm going to work on that when I'm done here. I'm hoping it's going to be done by Monday. I added, well, no, that's not what I did. I added up what I need left for road trip. It's about 1,000 stitches. So I'm wondering if maybe there's enough in Cabin Fever that finishing Cabin Fever will also finish like 7 of the road trip. I believe that they're releasing like 8 of the road trip today. Um, but I told myself that I would finish Cabin Fever and then decide to do, because I have a coupon that I could use, or and then decide to do what to do about um, like 7. If I'm going to finish the stitches, I'm going to use a coupon, or so. But I think I'm going to end up just finishing the stitches, because if they release it today and I don't check in until Monday or Tuesday, I don't really care. Like, it's not that big of a deal to be a few days late checking in. If I was still like 2 weeks away from checking in, I'd probably, well, I probably would have taken them up on their offer for help. But I think I'm probably just going to finish my stitches. It's not that big of a deal. I don't have that far to go. And if I decide that I don't want to do that, I have a coupon. So, um, categories. So my next goal is to finish like 7 on the road trip and move on to like 8. We do have September categories. The first category, specialty thread. Now, of course, when this category came up, my first thought was my chatelaine, because silk, you know, chatelaine. But I was like, chatelaine kind of got pushed to the side this year. Um, the Laurel who created my WIP Go board and the Laurel who actually had to stitch this year are not the same person. So I had all these lofty goals, and some of my goals were to put 3,000 stitches in these certain projects, and none of them are going to get there. Because as I started stitching and, doing categories and doing these different things, my focus changed, and those projects just haven't made it to be a focus, and chatelaine is one of those. So I decided instead of doing that, um, well, I was talking to a friend about it, and she's like, "You don't have anything that has Kreinik in it?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, duh. All my Noras have Kreinik in it." So I'm going to use Savannah as for specialty threads, because she needs the stitches. Like, I just got done saying she needs 3,100 and some odd stitches, and she needs the stitches. So I'm going to put Savannah in there, and I'm going to aim for 800 stitches. If I do more, even better. Pattern type, PDF, is going to be Tetelestai. I don't really have that many patterns that are on PDF, so that wasn't too hard. The ones that I have are Hades, and I've kind of put my Hades to the side too. So Tetelestai is the obvious choice for that one. If I can stop frogging on it. Remember last month I did a lot of frogging on Tetelestai, and hopefully this month will be better. Um, More than 50 colors, that's going to be under the evergreen, which was supposed to be a focus this year, and it really wasn't. Newest start is Cabin Fever, and that's going to be first up because I'm trying to finish it. And then the large, I was happy when this category came up, because the other thing that I wanted to do, one of my other WIP Go goals, is to finish a page on Three Things Sampler, and I was hoping to be able to fit that in that category, and because it's also Sampler September, so I was hoping to be able to fit that in a category, and it fits in large, so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to finish page 2, which I think is probably less than 1,000 stitches. It might be 1,000, it might be 800. It's not that much less than 1,000 stitches, but um, I'm gonna finish page 2, and that'll be my goal for that one. Um, and that's the categories. So, um, Sampler September. uh, I'm not sure. Besides working on Three Things Sampler, I'm not sure what I'm going to do by Sampler September. So last summer, I bought this chart. I think did I talk about this last month? I think I've talked about this on here recently. So last summer, when I was at the attic, I bought this chart. Um, let's see, this one. This is the Tillman House 1864 sampler by Chessie and me. And I bought this for a friend because his name is Tallman. And I sent it to him and I said, hey, this is called a Tallman House sampler. Would you be interested in this? And he's like, yeah. So I told him I'd make it for him, but then I haven't done anything about it. And the day that my friend died, on August 10th, I changed my profile picture on Facebook to be the little birdie, the little mill bird that I had stitched for her. And he's like, and somebody said something about it, and I commented, oh, I changed it today because, the friend that I gave it to passed away. And so my other friend, Coleman, commented about it and said, hey, when do I get mine? And I was kind of surprised that he remembered that I had promised that to him. Um, um, so I'm going to have to get on the ball, and I haven't even started it yet. So I'm going to have to get on the ball and get started on that. And I kind of think that he just wants me to stitch something for him. But because there's this other thing that every time it comes up in his memories, he sends it to me. I don't really have any interest in stitching that one, but I'll stitch this one for him. So I gotta get moving on that. And when I did my WIP parade, not my WIP parade, my Kitted Projects video, I think in the middle of July, I had this empty project bag that just had thread in it. I didn't know what project it was. I think it's that project, the Tom and a Half sampler. I think that's what it is. So, I'm gonna have to find the chart and find the fabric that I intended for it. But, so that might get started for Sampler September. I'm not really sure. And then, I have a bunch of other samplers. I have some kitted. I've got 3 or 4 or 5 of them kitted. So maybe I'll start something of my own. I don't know. I haven't really been feeling the starts lately. The last thing I started was in May. I'm not feeling it. But I'm going to finish Cabin Fever, so maybe that'll help. Um, so we'll see. I also, when we get to haul, which is going to be in just a minute here, I also have another possible start. It's not a sampler, but there's another possible start in my haul. So, so that's the plan for August. I'm going to finish Cabin Fever. I'm going to finish Leg 7 of the road trip and start Leg 8. I'm going to do the categories. And I might have a start or two. So, yeah. So, haul. This is going to be a short video. I don't have a lot of haul, but I have a little bit of haul and a little bit of stitchy kindness. So, the Homespun Sampler group, Homespun Needlework group, Homespun Needlework group, did an exclusive in the month of August by the Scarlet House, Tanya Brockmeyer, and I bought it because of course I did. And so that arrived just a week or two later, and it is Jane Thompson, 1838. And so there's that. I don't think for Sampler September, if I'm going to start one, I don't think it would be this one. But it might be Hannah Wilson. Or it might be one of the other ones I have. I have Though He's Seen Us Sleeping. I have some other ones, but I don't think it's gonna be this one, but it might be Hannah Wilson. So I got the 36 count NPI kit. So there's and you get a little red key. My work phone is ringing. Why is anybody calling me on a Saturday? Oh, it's not Saturday, it's Friday. Okay, I guess it's a business day. I guess they have the right to be calling me, but I'm not at work, so I'm not answering. Um, and even if I was working, it's my lunchtime. So, um, so there's James Thompson. She posted and said the next exclusive is in November. And then somebody on one of the groups was, I think she saw a completed sampler in the Goodwill, which is always really sad. And I always think, whenever that happens, I always think the stitcher must have died, or the stitcher went into convalescent care, and her family got rid of her stuff. I would hate to think that somebody, or it was something that she gave away, and the person she gave it to got rid of it. But I would hate to think that somebody would put their own stitching in the Goodwill. But somebody bought this and says, "Hey, does anybody know what chart this is?" And they named the chart, and I was like, that's something that I would stitch. So I went on eBay and I found it, and it is the Sarah Cook Sampler by Kathy Livingston. So, and it's stitched all in DMC, I believe. So I found that on eBay. So I got that. So this other start, my friend and I went to the Orange County Fair, and um, I was surprised because when I go to the fair, I always want to see the stitching. And so when we got there, he said, "Hey, what do you want to see? What do you want to do?" And I said, "Well, I want to go see the stitching." But I wasn't sure that he was going to be interested in that. I thought maybe he was going to be like, "Well, you go see that, and I'm going to go do this other thing, and text me when you're done." But he didn't. I was surprised. We went over to the building where all the home art stuff was, and he went through the whole building, and he seemed like he enjoyed it. He seemed like he was interested. And we went through the building, and they have the cross stitch there, but they got knitting and crochet and mosaic and all kinds of stuff. The table setting competition, which I always like to look at that too. Um, he took a lot of pictures. I was really surprised. But so when we finally got to the cross stitch section, which was kind of towards the end of the building. Um, at least from where we came in and the way we went around, it was kind of towards the end. Um, there was this one there that he kind of kept looking at, and he liked it because it has a travel theme. And Mr. Man, who is currently cruising his way around the Mediterranean, um, likes to travel. So he kept looking at it because it has a travel theme. And so I'm like, I had an idea of well, I didn't know what it was, but I had an idea of where to find it. Because the style screamed that it's a Dimensions kit. So I went and I got it. And it's this one. It's Travel Memories by Dimensions Gold Collection Petite. So I bought it. And he's stitch worthy. So this is the other thing that I may or may not start this month. He doesn't know that I bought it, and I don't think he watches my videos. So, um, at some point, I'll stitch that for him. There was a time when I wasn't sure that he was stitch worthy, but he's proven himself to be stitch worthy. So, I will do that for him. So now I've got two. I've got the Tallman sampler and I've got the Travel Memories one. And then this was a surprise. This is my stitchy kindness, and this was a surprise. I didn't know this was coming. So if you watch Fickle Stitches, Kate at Fickle Stitches finished a project and that I had admired, and every time she brought it out, I was like, "That's so pretty." And she gave away the chart on her channel, and I knew that she was doing this, and um, I didn't enter the giveaway. I think I forgot, or I don't know, for whatever reason, I didn't go in there and comment. I didn't enter the giveaway, even though I knew she was giving away this chart. Well, I had ordered this Sarah Cook sampler on eBay, and so I opened the door to go get the mail, or I opened the door for whatever reason, and there's this envelope on my doorstep. And I'm like, oh, maybe that's my eBay order. And I picked it up, and it's from Kate. And I'm like, I didn't get anything from Kate. What's this? Well, my sweet friend Kate, she did give away the one on her channel, but she also bought me one and sent it. So, this is Ossuary at Twilight by Whispered by the Wind. So, I was very surprised. And then when I talked to her about it, she said, well, you were supposed to watch the video where I gave it away, which admittedly I hadn't. I still haven't watched that video. But I knew she had done it, and I knew I hadn't won the giveaway because I hadn't entered. So, she's like, you were supposed to watch the video and then be surprised when it showed up at your door. I'm like, oh, I was surprised. But I hadn't watched the video. So, I need to catch up because now I'm like 2 videos behind and they're filming tomorrow, so I need to get caught up. Anyway, so that was my stitchy kindness. Thank you so much, Kate. It's so pretty. I owe her. I have a Whispered by the Wind chart that I told her I would send her, and I still have to send it. So that's my haul, and I think that's about my video. I don't know that I have a whole lot left to say. I'm gonna go to my friend's funeral tomorrow, and tomorrow's not gonna be a good stitching day, but it's not gonna be a stitching day at all probably, because by the time my brother made the dinner reservations for 7. I'm guessing I won't get home till 10 or 11. Um, so, uh, yeah. So, I guess that's all I have for you this month. Um, happy September, happy stitching, and I will see you next time. Bye.